All right, boys, let's go to the main event of the evening for what will be this coming Saturday evening. UFC Fight Night Hermansson versus Pyfer going down at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, headlined by Jack Hermansson and Joe Pyfer. So here we go. Jack the Joker Hermansson, the 35-year-old out of Sweden. His record stands at a very impressive 23-8 with 11 knockouts and 6 submission victories. Looking to get back in the win column after a knockout loss at the hands of Roman Dolidze back in December of 2022. So a bit of a long layoff for Mr. Hermansson. And he's coming back against another knockout artist in Joe Body Bags Pyfer, the 27-year-old out of Medea, or is it Medea or Media, Pennsylvania? I don't know. 12-2 as a pro, with only one of his 12 wins going the distance, 3 submission victories and 8 knockout victories for Pyfer. And he's going to be riding a wave of confidence, riding a 5-fight pro win streak coming into this Saturday night. And after winning on Contender Series, he is now 3-0 in the UFC. All 3 are finishes inside of 2 rounds. Mark, start us off this time with the odds, your take, and your pick of Hermansson versus Pyfer.
So the unproven fighter here, Joe Pyfer, is a minus 260 favorite in this fight. Jack Hermansson is plus 210. 1 inch of height for Pyfer, but 2.5 inches of reach for Hermansson. And yeah, it's very hard to pick against Joe Pyfer right now, man. He's looked fantastic. He has shown us that he's skilled everywhere. I think it's going to have to be someone pretty high level across from him for me to be comfortable going against him. And I'm just not sure that Hermansson is quite high enough. And don't get me wrong, he's a great litmus test because he's also a guy that has shown us a lot everywhere in different fights. You know, he'll have one fight where he shows off that heavy top game. Then he'll tap Kelvin in another fight. Then he'll outstrike Chris Curtis in another fight. Like, he's got skills. He can do it everywhere. But as unproven as Joe Pyfer is against the top level, I'm just not sure that Hermansson's skills exceed what Joe Pyfer brings. You know, Joe Pyfer is a fucking tank. He is an athlete. He throws nukes in there. He's going to look to walk Jack down from the bell. And, you know, maybe Jack can thwart that. It's very possible that Joe has to adapt in this fight in ways that he hasn't had to before. But I like the power edge that he has. I think he's going to be faster, and he may even have the grappling edge also. You know, he's been a beast in these competitions that he's been doing. He beat Mearshart, I'm pretty sure, in a grappling competition. So I think he's going to be a problem for Hermansson. I do worry a little bit about what the cardio looks like over 25 minutes just because we haven't seen it. But, you know, maybe it'll be totally fine. It's also been over a year since Hermansson fought, so a little bit of questions on that side too in terms of the activity. But yeah, I'm going to go all in on Pyfer and say he gets a finish here and really just announces himself. Round 3, TKO, Joe Pyfer.
Dude, I agree with you. And you made all the points that I was not going to make and made them better than I ever would have. But just to say something about it, I do think Pyfer, his power and his size is scary. Do you see him listed at 6'1" or 6'2"?
I just write the difference. I don't even write the things. But hold on, I'll tell you what I saw.
I see him on Sherdog. He's listed at 6'1", and I was like, damn, I think of him as a giant. Much taller than 6'1", but he's a big 6'1" if he's 6'1".
I also thought he was much bigger than Hermansson, so I'm actually surprised Hermansson has any kind of...
Tapology has him at 6'2", and they have Hermansson at 6'1".
Okay. So he's somewhere around there. Anyhow, I see Pyfer getting Hermansson out of there. I'm going to say the knockout is going to come... I'm going to say the knockout is going to come in the second round for Mr. Pyfer. Omar.
It is very difficult to pick against Joe Pyfer at this point. I will say I don't think he knocks him out. I think he relies on his grappling at this point. there's one thing I took away from Joe Pyfer in his last fight. It just seemed like he was trying to prove a point, and I don't think he got to prove it the way he wanted to, and I think he's going to try to do that again in this fight. So I think he's going to go for some takedowns here. I think he hasn't really needed to in his last fights. I don't think he probably won't need to in this fight either, but I think he will. And I think he's going to go for a submission here, and I think he'll end up with one. So I'm going to go with a round 1 submission for Joe Pyfer.
Wow.
Round 1 sub? Oh my goodness. Put the